So there's always more than one solution in embroidery as with any other process, and that can be based on budget and also your preference on how to do things. So the first one we're going to show is an old school style, old school because this has been around for a while, but it's also a proven way. It's also a little bit pricey. So we're looking at about $600 for the setup here, and this is called Hoopmaster. But what you get for your upfront investments, you're going to see a savings in repeatability, consistency, and also to be able to operate with a lower level of training or a wider variety of skill sets. You're going to see how forgiving this is. So the Hoopmaster system is broken down into two components. The primary one here is your universal base, also called the station kit. Station kit will mount most types of garments that are tubular, shirts, jackets, and the like, sweaters. And then the second component is going to be specific for the different types of hoops that you can use. Different hoops for different sizes of sewing areas and applications. So you want one of these for every size hoop that you're going to use. So there's that's where your cost is. Now, this one, for example, is matched to the very, very popular 5.5-inch Mighty. So you use a different size hoop, you're going to need a different type of add-on like this. So we're going to go ahead and use these and demonstrate how this works. With your Hoopmaster kit, you're going to get an alignment guide that gives you a pair of letters and numbers. The letters will correspond with the neckline. This is A through I for the different sizes of garments, and also there's numbers here for the different sizes where to place the different size fixtures. So, for example, we picked a nominal one on the guide for a men's left chest large that will be C18. So, for example, your operator will get a chart of different garment sizes with different letter and number combinations. So C18, basically, we just take the number 18, and there's a hole in your fixture, and you want to align that number so that it shows through the hole. And you can see that puts our hoop approximately where you can imagine a left chest position. And the beauty of this is that you may have one initially skilled operator operating this, but you can pass this on to a part-time worker, and you know that they're going to place this exactly the same way. So it gives you a lot of consistency. All right. The next thing that you're going to do is that if you're new to embroidery, hooping consists of two different components. You have an inner and an outer ring, or in the case of a Mighty hoop, it's more of an upper and lower ring. So you'll take the lower ring and place it into your fixture. So this will temporarily hold the lower ring in place. And the next thing we're going to do is what's always paired, almost always paired with that, it's going to be a piece of stabilizer. You can get this in perforated sheets so that you can just pull one off just like a paper towel or a piece of toilet paper and just slide it right on. You've got locking tabs here that just lightly hold that in place, but consistently so that that doesn't shift. One problem with new operators is that can move around, but that takes care of that. And finally, what we're going to do is we're going to take our garment. In this case, we have an Augusta ladies golf shirt, and we're going to slide that on. Actually, men's golf shirt. You can see this is so this is a piece of performance wear. And actually what we're going to do is also demonstrate what's going to make this even more relevant to what you're going to be running into every day is that this performance wear is a representative of typical moisture management garments. They're very stretchy and very comfortable, but they tend to distort very easily in embroidery. We're also going to demonstrate this action bag, which has a grain to it. There's a smooth side and a rough side. Put your rough side towards the fabric. We're going to lay that in there as well. In fact, it's really, really stretchy. Another popular technique that really works, and check out other videos on Facebook that show how to do this, is to layer them so that they're about 45 degrees offset to each other. This is still held in place by our locking tabs. So we pre-positioned our lower ring and our stabilizer. And we'll take our garment here and simply slide that over. And all we have to do is take a look at the size on the tag. So this is an adult large, men's large. And there's going to be a neckline that corresponds, a neckline on here that corresponds with that size. So we just align that, square up the shirt to the form of the Hoopmaster station. And what's perfect about this is that the curved shoulders give us a nice reference for our seams to keep that parallel and also centered. Okay. And then this is where the magic of the station comes in. Take your arms or an upper hoop combination, lay that on the spring-loaded armature, and simply push. Before we do, make sure that your garment, last check to make sure it's not wrinkled and it's just sitting nice and flat. Push. We're done. We've not only placed it, but it's also hooped. You can lift this whole thing up, and this garment is ready to go to the embroidery machine. And Michael brings up a good question, and it goes back to this. If you want to use other sizes of hoops, it all comes down to your piece here. What you're going to do is buy a custom size for each hoop that you're going to use. Now, so the theory is that a lot of operators are operating just a few hoops that are very popular. So we recommend on your initial purchase, just buy the most common ones like left chest placement that you're going to do over and over and over again. The Mighty Hoop 5.5 is popular. All Happy embroidery machines, for example, come with a left chest size. So this is also very popular as a 15 centimeter fixture. So buy the fixture that will match whatever hoops that you're going to use most commonly. And as you get your return on investment, you can always buy additional fixtures for what other hoops that you use. So that's the demonstration of our Hoopmaster station. Now, on the other side of it, if you have a different kind of budget, we'll show you a different, another type. In this case, we're going to use a more economical form of hooping technique, which is the embroiderer's helper. We're looking at about $20 for investment. And the way this works is that you're going to line up this corner notch here with the center notch or the top button of your garment. And you're going to have a notch for each of the different sizes. So this one's a men's large. I know this job is a men's large. And there's going to be a notch. This one's small, or let's go ahead and zoom in here. Small, medium, large, and extra large. And then you're going to actually mark your garment. So what we're going to do is, now what's tricky on t-shirts is that they don't have a lot of reference lines like our nice golf shirt we showed just a moment ago. So another trick that we do, a lot of embroiderers do, is just form a crease. That's one luxury you have with these light garments. You can sit there and then just fold it dead on in half. Just form a hard crease, and that gives you a nice reference line, and suddenly everything gets a lot easier from there. So it's pretty clear here. I don't know how well you can see it on camera, but you have a nice vertical line here down the center. So now we can place that along our crease. And what we do now, I recommend you not do what I'm about to do. Get a piece of sewer's chalk instead of what we're going to do here, which I'm going to take a ballpoint pen. I happen to have run this logo enough to know that I know this is going to be covered over. I'm just going to place a mark right where this notch is. So now I have a very clear mark for the center. So done with that. And it comes down to traditional hooping technique. So what we'll do is we'll take our piece of backing, and then we'll take our 15 centimeter hoop together, and the first thing we're going to start out with is take our outer ring, just make sure it's at about the right adjustment, and put that together with your backing. In this case, like I advocate with, especially this is a very difficult garment to sew on because of how stretchy this t-shirt is. It's very, very soft. It's an anvil ring spun tee, 3.5 ounce. Take the rougher side, which looks like it's this one, towards the garment. And again, two pieces, a second piece of action back, facing the same way. Offset them about 45 degrees. Hold them together. Don't let go. Go into your garment and align them. Don't let go of the garment and the outer of the backing and the outer ring. Keep them together while you flatten the garment around you. And once you've got it laying flat, then what I do is I push down so I can actually see the outside of the hoop. You can actually see this a little bit here. You can see the shadows where my fingers are. And just kind of nudge that until that's about centered. You can't see that on camera, but the mark is very, very clear. And I'm centering that. So it does require a little bit of eyeballing. You can always take rulers and guides if you want to do this. Over time, a lot of practice operators are actually able to do this, and they're very good at it. After you've done, 20, 30, 40, 50 shirts, this actually becomes second nature. So the last thing you do, and this is where it starts all getting a lot easier, is take your inner ring / arm combination, lay it down onto the outer ring, feel it about centered, and then you do a level check. Make sure that you don't hoop at an angle like this. You want to get it as level as you can. And what I do is take a nice straight edge, whatever you've got, and run a straight edge across from corner to corner on the shoulders. And then you have a horizontal reference and make this line as parallel to that line as possible. And with a little practice, you can get this down just about every time. So get that nice and parallel and flat. Push, and we're hooped. So that's how we do that. So the $22 piece looks like this needs to be a little bit tighter. So another key thing on hooping technique is that you have infinite adjustment with your brass adjustment screw. So you want to set that tightness level to, you don't want to over tighten it, but you want to have just enough tension that it's going to hold that nicely, but you can still slip that in and out. It's still strong enough that it'll hold as it's shaking on an embroidery sheet. So we'll go ahead and do that again one more time really quickly just to show you. And then we'll take any questions that you have, and of course look for any future lessons related to this and other embroidery techniques on happyemb.com. So lay our shirt flat. We already have our mark that we've already used our embroiderer's helper to place. Take our outer ring, and in this case, because it's an extremely stretchy knit fabric, two pieces of action back, offset about 45 degrees. Place it on the inside of the shirt. Don't let go of your backing in your outer ring until you've laid it completely flat and as close to the final position as you can. That way you can be confident that the backing won't shift, and the backing will be completely encased by the wall of the hoop for a nice steady surface. So you got that nice and close, flatten everything out. Feel for the edges of the hoop and make sure that it is about centered relative to our center mark, which is right here. I can see that pretty clearly. Take our inner ring and our arm combination. Again, line it up with the line created by the points of the shoulder, and make sure that the line of the arms of the hoop is parallel to that as possible, and just push, and we're ready to go. Okay. I can actually tell that this is a little bit too loose. The other tip that I would do, one last parting tip, is place your adjustment screw towards you so that you can easily make an adjustment on the fly until you can get the right amount of tension. That way you're not having to reach too far. All right, so I've got that nice. That should hold itself pretty well. And that's our hooping techniques for happy embroidery machines to get consistent, accurate placement.